Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look as to why I feel it's very possible that Rockwood Manufacturing is the greatest manufacturer of trim and auxiliary hardware in the industry. Here's why. I had a client in a position where they needed to replace a electric deadbolt from Rixson, a sister company to Rockwood, and this 401DR was the model number, and this lock was manufactured for years but then discontinued, and I don't know how many years ago it was discontinued, 10, 20 years. It's only in very old archival catalog. A very large electric deadbolt with dual solenoids. This was fail secure. Had a safety switch, they called it, which is just a ball auto relock so that the unit will stay retracted until the door gets closed, and then the safety switch says, okay, you can go ahead and close now. So the issue with that 401DR is it had a 9-inch long and 1.75-inch wide faceplate. And there is, to my knowledge, there is no current electric deadbolt that there is no manufactured electric deadbolt that has that size faceplate. And the situation became, how can we solve this problem for the customer? Because the functionality, fail secure and auto relock, well, that's standard on every electric deadbolt, basically. You can have a door position switch rather than a ball auto relock. You can handle that different ways. And it really occurred to me that potentially the only difference was the fact that the faceplate was going to be larger than necessary. So I called who is one of my go-to companies when it comes to electrified hardware, the folks at SDC. I highly recommend them. Not only are their products really nice, but their technical support is world-class. There's a particular gentleman there, and he knows who he is, that I say thank you to him for how great, expert, complete, thorough, correct technical support at the end of the conversation. They make sure that you are in understanding of the answer that you were given. Great bedside manner, so to speak. So to him I say thank you. I needed to find out if the faceplate, and I assumed it was a plate that was mechanically attached. You know, during the manufacturing process, is the solenoid and the the ball relock, is that mechanically all attached to the faceplate? Is that screwed together? I called SDC and found out, yes, indeed it is. I explained that the client, we needed to swap out the faceplate, and understood that what we were doing would not be UL listed. And the rep indicated that that could all be taken apart. There wouldn't be a problem, that it was physically connected. And I realized at that point, after researching all of the SDC literature, the template, the product catalog, I decided that I would quote the project knowing that I would custom manufacture a faceplate. Well, that's where Rockwood comes in. Rockwood is my go-to when I need custom material done. Now, not only just custom like door pulls, and they're going to, make it to the size you want, but when I need flat goods, and I need flat goods with elaborate function holes done, Rockwood's my go-to, because they don't balk, they don't wink an eye or bat an eye. They are just all in. So here's my SDC faceplate, and this project was just done and shipped. I completed it, and I have a very long video on the site detailing every step of the way. This SDC plate is 8-inch tall and 1.5-inch wide. Well, that 401DR by Rixson is 9-inch tall and 1.75-inch wide. So I ordered the SDC lock, a 2090, I don't remember the rest of the part number. I then confirmed that the faceplate can come off. I then also discovered that ball auto relock is drilled and tapped to the faceplate. I didn't know how it was attached. And I realized after measuring it with a caliper, that's a funny size. It looks like it's 3/4, and then I called SDC and said, okay, I need to know the thread type of that tapped hole. And the gentleman I spoke to said, yeah, I was asked that question about 10 years ago, and I don't remember the answer. So he asked if he could call me back. He went and consulted and came back that it was 3/4 27 is the thread type. I says, wow, I've never heard of that thread. And I'm not an expert when it comes to drilling and tapping, but, I know that there's 3/4 inch and more than just one thread per inch count, but didn't know 27 was one of the options. Turns out 3/4 27 is a real thread type. Realizing that I doubt I'm going to get Rockwood to tap that hole because they probably, not that they don't have the willingness, they probably don't have the tap, okay? So I determined that worst case scenario, I would have to tap that hole myself. I then took all of the measurements off of the plate. I turned it into this drawing. And this is the actual drawing that I sent to Rockwood. And while my dimensions were slightly off, because I didn't transpose this, I didn't trace these dimensions, I measured them. I was, 30 thousandths. Each of the holes were slightly off, 30 thousandths, and I had to just simply ream, re-drill, re-countersink, and the finished unit looked quite good when it was done. It was certainly passable. Next time I will get those holes accurately, but the exercise was to transpose the dimensions. Created this drawing, told them the thickness that I wanted, 125 thousandths stainless and a brushed finish. Okay, gave them all the sizes that I needed. Look at B, 23 32nd hole only, which was about 10 thousandths off of the size that you need for a 3/4 27, because it was going to be a number that was, not converted to fractions very well. So I got very close with 23 32nd. Okay, 832 on my mounting holes. The hole for the bolt, 49 64ths. That's just putting a caliper in the hole and then converting that to a fraction. Added the description of the line item to my PO to Rockwood, included the drawing. 3 weeks later, no questions asked. They never even called me. There you go. There's the original, and there's the 9 by inch and 3/4. Okay, all those holes are without detection in the right place. So all I had to do was measure all my holes. And about the holes being slightly off, I didn't measure the holes and compare it to my drawing. I don't know if I was off or if I was off 15 thousandths and Rockwood was off 15 thousandths. I don't know. It didn't matter. It was close enough. But you can see how superb of a job they did. Now, the auto relock hole, it didn't really matter where precisely it was, because that is just an added on piece, a threaded on piece. But the bottom line is, bam, there it is. They didn't even call and say, boy, that looks pretty complicated. I'm really not sure. I'm going to have to check with production. Did you say you wanted that 125 thousandths? What is that? I didn't get any of that razzmatazz, and I never do. And this is the only anomaly is they sent me two. When I ordered one, I don't know why they sent two. One could be wrong somehow that I wasn't able to detect. Maybe they were like, well, we'll just make two. It's easy to make two. It's all programmed. We built the program. We'll just run two. So I've got an extra one here. But the point of the matter is how I sent them a hand sketch on graph paper, and they came back with exactly what I needed. So the video that's there does detail all the steps. The only thing I had to do was buy a tap. With my tap, my bench-mounted handle tap, made the tapping of that hole, a little bit of tap fluid, and within 5 minutes, it was perfect. The ball auto relock threaded in perfectly, and it was ideal. I did have to work my holes ever so slightly. I'm not sure exactly why it didn't matter at this point, but this is it right here. Now, I've also used Rockwood for other scenarios where I need custom flat goods, meaning I did a client in Seattle had a door that may have been 80 years old, 3-inch thick, something really cool. All kinds of detail work in the door, a stile and rail door to be sure. And over the decades, many locks have been installed in this door. Many different locks. Well, here we are, the first quarter of the 21st century. Access control is what everyone wants, right? And it has been that way for a while. Take a trip through Manhattan. Access control is everywhere. So this client needed to not only get the access control lock installed, but to cover up all of the other holes, and to do so in such a way where we also had to run the plate long on the inside because of some damage on the door, but then run the plate short on the exterior, on the ingress side, because of the projection of the stop. Well, I was able to take the template of the electronic lock that they wanted, traced all of those function holes on the plate, gave him the deadbolt hole that he wanted above in the right location, adjusted the back set. We had a left-hand plate with a short back set. Then we had the exterior plate. Then we had the interior plate, which would have been a right hand, basically at a greater back set, okay, because of how we were going to run the plate long on that side. And it just worked out superbly. There's another job with an aluminum storefront that had to have a plate made with unusual locations. I've even had Rockwood look at making some latch protectors that are from MAG, a company that's been long out of business. And they all but encourage it. So this is I'm so enamored with how great this worked out that I just need to shout it to the world, and that's what we've done here. Rockwood, I say thank you, your entire team, and all of you folks know who you are. I deeply appreciate, the fact that you make it look really simple, and you do over and over again. I was expecting at least a phone call. Are you sure that's what you want? Nope. Plate shows up. That's it. That's all there is to it. Any questions on Rockwood? If we could help you with their core line, their trim and auxiliary line, or their Rockwood RM Series door pulls. My name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. Please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.